What you just saw was a terrifying skydiving accident from 2013 over Superior, Wisconsin, near the Minnesota border. Two planes, each carrying experienced skydivers, were flying at 12,000 feet for their final jump of the day, known as the sunset load. In the lead plane, 4 skydivers stood on the side platform ready to leap, while behind them, a second plane carried 5 more jumpers, 3 in position and 2 inside. Suddenly, disaster struck. The trailing plane collided with the lead aircraft, igniting a massive fireball and tearing it apart mid-air. The skydivers on the lead plane jumped instantly, while those in the second plane scrambled to escape. The lead pilot ejected, and the second pilot, despite damage to the aircraft, managed to land safely at Richard Thurmbong Airport. Amazingly, all the skydivers deployed their parachutes between 3,000 and 5,000 feet, avoiding debris and landing safely. Miraculously, no lives were lost, with only minor injuries reported. This next insane video has sparked a debate. Was this the bravest act or the most foolish thing we've ever seen a fisherman do? Take a look. The exact location and timing of this shocking incident remain unclear, but the footage captures 2 men standing waist-deep in a river, seemingly unfazed by the brewing storm as they focus on fishing. Suddenly, as one of them lifts his rod, a bolt of lightning strikes, forcing him to drop it and shake his hand in shock. Amazingly, instead of leaving the water, the man picks up his fishing rod again, and, as if tempting fate, he points it skyward, only for lightning to strike a second time. At this point, the fishermen finally realize that standing in water during a lightning storm, with their rods acting as potential conductors, might not be the best idea. They begin wading out of the river, appearing visibly shaken. However, the video has sparked heated debate online. Some argue the lightning didn't actually hit the rod, claiming that if it had, the camera would have been overwhelmed by the intense brightness, and the rod, likely made of plastic or fiberglass, would have been visibly damaged or even destroyed. Others insist the strike was real, pointing to the man's reaction as proof. What do you think? Was it a direct strike or just a close call? Let's know in the comments.
だから持ってきてないんですよ。どうせ回復するだろうと思って。おい！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！こら！
This terrifying wildlife encounter took place in Iwezumi Town, Japan, around 9 a.m. on September 29, 2023. The footage shows a young man venturing into the woods to forage for mushrooms, a seemingly routine activity. But things took a dangerous turn when he suddenly came face to face with an Asiatic black bear and her cub just 8 meters away. Feeling threatened, the mother bear charged at him with full force. Acting on instinct, the man grabbed a stick and fought back, using it to block the bear's attacks. At one point, the bear even bit down on the stick before finally retreating. Surprisingly, the man remained composed throughout the ordeal. As it turns out, this wasn't his first run-in with a bear while mushroom hunting. With experience, he knew that running would only provoke the animal further. Instead, he stood his ground. Sometimes, the most horrific accidents happen when you least expect them. This next video, filmed in China, is a shocking example. In the clip, a popcorn vendor is seen using a popcorn cannon when things suddenly go wrong. Smoke starts billowing from the machine, followed by a sharp whistling sound. Before he can react, the cannon explodes, sending him flying. Popcorn cannons work like pressure cookers. Fascinating, but dangerous. In this case, the machine was overpressurized, and the whistling sound was a clear warning of an imminent failure. These machines often lack safety valves, which is why they're rarely sold outside China. A faulty pressure gauge likely misled the vendor into overheating the vessel. When dealing with an overpressurized device, the safest move is to step away immediately. In this case, the vendor's attempt to intervene triggered a violent decompression. While this process gives popcorn its unique texture, it must be carefully controlled to avoid disaster. The vendor's condition remains unknown, but he likely sustained minor burns or bruises. Fortunately, it could have been much worse. This incident truly shows the raw power of the sea. But to fully grasp what happened, let's dive into the backstory. On Friday, February 3rd, the Coast Guard launched a dramatic rescue after receiving a distress call about a mariner in trouble roughly 6 miles west of the Columbia River mouth. The 35-foot vessel, Sandpiper, had been overturned by a massive wave. Using radio triangulation, rescuers quickly pinpointed the distress signal and rushed to the scene. Upon arrival, they found the mariner struggling aboard the sinking vessel. Battling 20-foot waves and high winds, the Coast Guard deployed a rescue swimmer from a helicopter. Just as the swimmer neared the boat, another powerful wave capsized it, tossing the mariner into the freezing water. The swimmer acted fast, reaching the mariner, and both were safely hoisted to the helicopter via winch cable. Fortunately, the mariner suffered only minor injuries and was flown to Air Station Astoria for medical evaluation. But the story took an unexpected turn. Shortly after the rescue, authorities informed the Coast Guard that the mariner was suspected of stealing the vessel, turning this daring rescue into a robbery gone wrong. On the morning of December 9th, 2025, Cruzeiro Beach in Sao Paulo witnessed an unimaginable tragedy that was captured by a security camera.
Gente do céu, meu Deus do céu, acabou de passar um jato aqui na pista, meu. Explodiu tudinho aqui, meu Deus do céu.
What began as a typical day quickly descended into chaos. The tragic incident began when a private jet took off from Mineiros Municipal Airport in Goiás, carrying 5 people. The flight was en route to Ubatuba, but poor weather conditions, rain, and a slippery runway made landing treacherous. As the jet approached Ubatuba Airport, it overshot the runway and spiraled out of control. It crashed through the airport's security fences, hurtled across 2 busy roads, narrowly avoiding cars, before erupting into flames on the beach road. Tragically, the pilot did not survive the crash. However, the 2 other adults and 2 children on board were rescued. 1 adult remains in critical condition, while 1 child is under hospital observation. 3 beachgoers also sustained injuries and were rushed to the hospital. Redevoa, the airport operator, confirmed the runway was wet due to rain at the time of the crash. The Brazilian Air Force has since launched an investigation to determine the exact cause of the accident.
What? What?
On November 12, 2024, in Bharatpur City, Nepal, a rhinoceros suddenly charged out of the bushes, heading straight for a man on a bike. Panicked, he abandoned his bike and ran, narrowly escaping as the rhino knocked the bike over and searched for him. After a tense moment, the animal retreated down the street. Once the coast was clear, the man retrieved his bike and fled. Whether the rhino was captured remains unknown, but he was lucky to escape. Rhinos can weigh up to 2,800 kilograms and run at speeds of 55 kilometers per hour, making them extremely dangerous. In the wild, safari guides keep a safe distance, but when a rhino enters a city, chaos is inevitable. If you ever face one, running might just be your best option. For our bonus video, we take you to the dramatic scene at Erta Ale volcano in Ethiopia's Danakil Depression. On January 13, 2025, for the first time in 2 decades, a surge of lava advanced all the way to the historic camping huts. Satellite imagery on January 12th revealed a strong thermal anomaly, showing lava flowing southeast as molten clots erupted from a large hornito, merging into continuous lava streams. By the night of January 13th, the lava flow reached unprecedented levels, filling the ancient caldera and extending to the camping area. This extraordinary event reshaped the landscape, offering a rare and awe-inspiring sight for both locals and visitors. Fortunately, no one was harmed. Thanks to early warnings, everyone was safely evacuated before the situation became too dangerous.